So you're talking about the seating. So you're saying basically it wasn't a complete anti-seating aspect. There was some technicality. You're saying the upper peninsula, lower peninsula. Talk a little bit more about that.
So we wanted this to be an unveiling, just like football, as far as the NCAA tournament, and so whether it's on TV or all that. So the things that you don't think about have come up, and one of them was the UP Lower Peninsula and that amount of travel that you'd have to do. So we said, well, we could have that one district in the UP stay by itself. The other three we seed, and then they join later on in the tournament. Well, anytime you have one thing that's slightly different than the rest of the tournament, that didn't go. So then it becomes, we did that because of travel. Everything we did makes the travel either as good or better than what it currently is in the UP lower P situation. That's the thing that gets sticky and gets tough.
So conceptually, it's not that people are against it. It's the uniqueness, it's the technicalities, it's the logistics of it. So it's not them just going against it.
And they haven't slammed the door on it. We're meeting again. We continue to meet. We're going to continue to be creative and look at it. And they are interested in making the state tournaments that are everyone in the state makes it, softball, baseball, basketball, those types of sports, make that tournament better.
Yeah. So we talked about seeding, and then there's this other controversial term, the shot clock.
Yeah. When we did that survey to the 2,100 members, 74% of our membership were for a shot clock.
Okay.
74% were.
We're going to get shot clocks then, right?
Basketball coaches want it. They did a similar survey to all the athletic directors in our state. The MHSAA did. They're 75% against it. Around there. I could be off by a few percentages. But it basically was an absolute flip from. So the MHSAA, after our survey, I said, what can we do to gain some momentum, at least have some trials? So we asked that we could have tournaments or events that use the shot clock.
Sure.
And then if they were able to, whether they were having it at a university or North Farmington had shot clocks.
Some of that
exactly, yeah.
Right.
So we went to them and said, hey, we'll do them around the state. We'll try to get variety from city schools to suburban schools to up north schools to west side, a variety, girls and guys. They're all for it. We've done 6 or 7 events a year. We've done surveys. And the one thing we learned that is interesting in college and in the NBA, in a shot clock, when the ball hit, when you shoot the ball, it hits the rim, and they get an offensive rebound and gain possession. In the NBA, it goes from 24 to 14. You keep playing. College is, I think, from 30 to 20. In high school, because that can be confusing if someone's doing the shot clock. In high school, everything goes back to 35. You click the button. What we've learned is it's not as hard as you would think. So that is a good thing that we've learned. Because one of the events we did, North Farmington, they wanted to do it right. They had 3 days of events. We were there. You're there all the time and promoting it. Really high-level teams. They brought in the shot clock person that does the Pistons games.
Wow.
And so the first day, this is the first year we did trials. She goes, I don't know. This is going to be kind of complicated for someone running the table at the. So she had the rules there, but she just did it like she would NBA, 35, and she just put it back to 20. And after the first game, I went over and I go, we went over the rules. She goes, it only goes back to 35 every time. She goes, anybody could do this. And I go, so that opened my eyes where we can promote, not as much promote, but educate athletic directors on. Because you're talking freshmen and JV, are you doing it at those levels? How can you find that? So here are the things the athletic directors are saying. Number one, cost. They've got to get them in their gyms. And there's a definite cost to it.
Sure.
And if you don't have
the
funding,
want an unfunded mandate where you're saying, I need you to do this.
And you want to say some have funding and some don't. So that's a legitimate concern. And and more importantly, manpower. Having people to run a freshman table, a JV table, and a varsity table. When they're having a hard time getting people just to do the table, period, you need another person.
That is true.
Those are the reasons that the athletic directors are like, whoa, 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 we don't need it. We don't need it right now.
It's not worth the
So the
hassle.
coaches, if we were to poll the players, they would want it.
I'm sure.
Who you really want to go? Basketball is about getting up and down and playing and getting into. So players, I'm sure we haven't polled players, but in all the events we've done over the past years, it's been love it.
You know what I remember? If you don't recall this either, there were only a handful of violations. We were trying to go back and remember how many times we heard the buzzer go off, and it just wasn't a multitude of things happening. At least that's my experience with it.
Which means, do we need it? That's what the MHSAA would say.
Oh, did I
not for 100%.
Did I hurt the argument right there?
A little bit. Well, here's what they did.
I can edit that out.
Here's what they did last year. The MHSAA did the Final Four for the girls and the guys at all 4 divisions, and the average possession was 17 seconds. They're like, why do we need it? So here's the deal. It's inevitable that as states, so Iowa adopted it. They love it. They were the first national Fed in the Midwest that adopted it. I think as more states say, you know what, and when you get new technology, they're going to put shot clocks in. I'm assuming because it's down. And I think it's it's eventually going to happen.
Or even with new bills, a new facility. Let's make space for the shot clock.
Let's have shot clocks. Right. And so from our perspective, anytime we have a survey that is that pro towards something, we got to continue to work on that, have events, take data, give it back to the MHSAA. I will say this about the MHSAA: Mark Ewell, Will McCoy, Andy Freshour, all of them, Tricia, they're working hard. They're listening. They really are. And
they get a bad rap sometimes.
They do get a bad rap, and I'll be honest with you, they're good people.
Yeah.
They want things. But again, once you learn about, there's a lot that goes into a lot of this stuff.
I understand.
It's not just to say, hey, we don't want it. No, they're allowing us to do trial things, and they're meeting with us on seating. They're looking at it. They ran how the seating would look like on our model last year behind the scenes.
Wow.
Very you feel good about the direction we're going with and going in. And so from that perspective, I feel good.
Let me say this with the time that we have, and I know you're a humble guy, and even just today I'm learning things. I didn't know that you were getting ready to go into your second year of the presidency of the National Basketball Coaches Association in Michigan.
For high school.
For the country,
yeah.
For the country. And that Michigan has the largest, population of coaches in the BCAM with 55.
We're the largest in the country for 13 straight years.
For 13 straight years.
So the next is Texas. They've been in second place for 13 straight years.
Texas. Well, Dan, this doesn't take anything from the people who have come before you, but it says a lot about your leadership. So when you're around the country, even around the state, what is it about BCAM that makes this state such a leader in what's happening in the basketball community?
I will say the people before me, the people before us, Tom Hersey and, Peggy Porter, now Amy Heidenberg, our board, all the history. If you've ever been to one of our Hall of Fames.
It's going to be tomorrow night.
Yeah, it is. There's an amazing history. I mean, you listen to Coach Izzo talk about Judd and how high school coaches are always invited. It's just we're in a wonderful state. People like Tim McCormick and Coach Izzo and Coach Beeline, Coach Howard. Those that are Coach Campy.
Yep.
I can go on and on. It's just people that are all about helping kids and getting better. We're continually trying to make things better. I'll say this: when the horrible thing with George Floyd happened, horrible. Lamonte Stone shot me a text, and on a Friday, June 5th, and on Sunday, June 7th, we had 500 coaches in the city of Detroit.
I remember that.
That says a lot.
Shout out to Stone. So again, like
that.
Up with.
So it's. I think we're all in it for kids, and there's a lot of good people that go into, I'm just kind of keeping the ship going. We started a podcast. We started an aspiring head coach thing. We're trying to make things better, help people. I'm a small part of that.
Yeah, but your humility is noted. But you're leading the helm right now. Today is another great day. Let me give you your flowers, because the other part, there's no ivory tower. You're there. When we're at those 3-day events, you're right there with the coaches, with the players, catching up. So let me acknowledge you. In all of our interactions, I've always been very positive, and I appreciate SPS being able to have a platform come in. When I got the call to come over here, it's so ironic that Elliott Room, Coach Don Showwater with USA Basketball spoke here years ago, and I came and I sat and watched him speak in that room. So for me to be able to have an opportunity to involve, that means a lot.
It's my pleasure to be on this, and you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
And it's well noted what you're doing.
I appreciate that. You named a lot of people, but I want to give you a chance to give any final shout-outs or any final words, too, before you go.
I would like to say to any coach out there, it's the toughest time in the history of coaching to be a coach now. It really is. It's just tough. So hang in there. We're here for you, to support you. And if I can be of any assistance at all, I live in Metro Detroit, but I'll go anywhere. And anybody on our
He'll
staff,
pop on you anywhere.
And just support you through tough times, because we all need it. We're all going to have that year. But if you can get through it in the long haul, you're making a difference in someone's life. And what's better than that?
Yeah.
Nothing better.
That's a great thing. Here with Dan Young, Executive Director for what I will say the greatest basketball coaching association in the country, leading up BCAM here in Michigan. Having a great day. With that being said, Lindsay Ellis with SPS. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.